Good morning, friend of mine. Welcome back to the Morning Minute Meditation. As I always say, I am so glad that you have joined me on this fine morning. In the book of Ezekiel, Ezekiel was writing to a group of people that wanted nothing to do with the God that had chosen them to be his people. In Ezekiel chapter number 12 and verse 2, God makes this statement through the pen of Ezekiel. He said, "Son of man," speaking to Ezekiel, "thou dwellest in the midst of a rebellious house, which have eyes to see and see not. They have ears to hear and hear not, for they are a rebellious house." In other words, the intent of this group of people is to love their sin and the gratification of sin more than anything else in this world. And therefore, they have eyes that cannot see God and ears that cannot hear God. It's interesting that this same sort of verbiage is used to the 7 churches in Asia when the Apostle John is taking dictation from Christ. Jesus said, "He that hath ears to hear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches." But if God does not open the eyes and unplug the hearing, man cannot see nor hear. If our gospel is hid, it's hid to them that are lost, whom the God of this world hath blinded their minds, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. Atheism, quote unquote, is a big deal in our day and era. We could go all the way back to Friedrich Nietzsche and the God is dead era of time. We could talk about Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins and Bertrand Russell, and the list goes on. And it is amazing how many people identify themselves as atheists in the community of actors in Hollywood. The truth is, they have eyes that cannot see and ears that cannot hear. And unless their rebellion is quelled and God opens their minds, their eyes and their ears, they cannot see nor hear. In his book, Christian Theology in Plain Language, Bruce Shelley made this illustration. He said, if a man writes a beautiful poem on a piece of paper, and a man stands up to convince an audience that these are nothing more than black marks on white paper, he said it is easy to convince an audience that cannot read that the paper they're looking at is just a bunch of scribble with no meaning at all. But for those who can read, they can see the content of what is really there. Aren't you glad for the day that the God of glory opened your eyes and ears and heart to the gospel of Christ, and you repented and believed and were born again into the family of God? Praise his holy name. Think on these things today, my friend. Have yourself a great day.